boxer's dream is to win a Golden Gloves.
I am a true testimony of what boxing can do as far as building character and this art of hitting without getting hit. It's more closer to what a dancer has to do to choreograph his moves.
There's no one to throw the ball to. There's no one to call a timeout to.
It's one-on-one.
It's a case of I'm going to outthink you and outsmart you.
Those that don't hear the music think the dancers are mad.
Golden Gloves boxing, next on Chicago Stories. Good evening, I'm John Calloway, and welcome to Chicago Stories. Although not every amateur boxer becomes a professional, virtually all amateurs begin by competing in the Golden Gloves, an annual tournament which took root in Chicago and quickly spread across the country and throughout the world. The goal of boxing is simple: hit, but don't get hit. But all boxers get hit, and all boxers are far more likely to see stars than to become one. Despite that, for nearly 80 years, the Golden Gloves has been luring young men, and now women, off of the streets and into gymnasiums where they learn self-discipline, skill, and the art of jabbing and punching and weaving. Tonight, we get a ringside seat to this popular Chicago tradition, the Golden Gloves. In a few days, 21-year-old Malachi Farrell and 23-year-old Shea Mobley will compete in the Chicago Golden Gloves finals. They have already won in the preliminaries and hope to go on to the annual Golden Gloves national competition in Reno, Nevada. Their trainer, Martin McGarry, has been listening to the siren call of boxing since 1970, when he won his own Golden Gloves final right here in Chicago.
Shea, 1-2.
After that, McGarry enjoyed a brief career as a professional. Then he turned his passion away from this difficult dance toward coaching younger dancers who hear the music and are willing to take a punch in the face.
The Golden Gloves is a very prestigious tournament, and it's every kid's dream to win the Golden Gloves title. It's one of the toughest sports there is, and they're putting everything on the line, so they train hard, and they want to be a champion, and they want to make it rewarding.
I feel with the Golden Gloves that they have something to look forward to in their lives. Instead of being in the street and fighting in the street where they get put in jail, right after a boxing match, these guys are hugging each other. And it's all about a trophy, a $3 trophy. That's all it is. And it's the glory that goes behind it, not the trophy.
Anytime you mention that you're involved with boxing, the ultimate thing that most people bring up is that, how could you be involved in something so senseless? People are pounding each other, it's a lot of violence, it's a lot of aggression, and the answer to that is those that don't hear the music think the dancers are mad.
It was in the roaring 20s that Golden Gloves got their start. Alcohol wasn't the only prohibition during this era. In the aftermath of World War I, several states, including Illinois, had banned the sport of boxing. Yet the effective prohibition on boxing and alcohol was similar. Those who wanted or needed to do it did it anyway. They just did it illegally. Until a bold and passionate sports writer, columnist, and fan named Arch Ward decided to test Illinois' ban on boxing and got the backing of the Chicago Tribune to stage a tournament. Although it took until 1927 for Illinois voters to legalize amateur boxing, that seminal event, a 6-night mini-Olympics with kids from one Chicago ethnic neighborhood going one-on-one with kids from another, was the beginning of a tradition that started here and spread across the globe.
In the 20s, people lived in their own areas. The Irish lived here, and so I'm the best fighter in the Irish neighborhood. I can beat the fellow in the Italian neighborhood and so on. And this seemed to go on, and the shows would draw tremendous followings from the respective fighters' neighborhoods.
They were so successful in what they were doing as far as getting the young men to vent their anger in a positive direction and fighting in the ring instead of fighting in the street. They packed the stadium. We're working with the youth service agencies and youth social programs that the Tribune Charities was leading themselves to do.
The Irish, the Jewish, the Italian represented many of the fighters, and a lot of the fighters, the Italian and Jewish fighters, took Irish names. Johnny Dundee was Italian. Willie Pep was Italian, but he shortened his name to Pep. And there's any number of boxers that did change. The Jews were the first to drop out, and then the Irish and Italians remained strong in it for many years and still do represent a great number of fighters. But the blacks, and now talking about the United States, the Hispanics are moving up very strongly.
There's a lot of money in other sports also, and maybe that's why we're switching over to kids from third world countries who are not as prosperous as American kids, and they're hungry fighters. They want to make a good living for themselves.
The Golden Gloves began with the hope that through boxing, neighborhood kids could learn the discipline of directing their energies constructively. Some, like Joe Frazier, Joe Louis, and Muhammad Ali, became boxing legends. A number of Chicagoans got their start in the Golden Gloves and went on to become pros. Heavyweight champion Ernie Terrell. Leroy Murphy and Davey Day were serious contenders. Barney Ross won titles in 3 separate weight classes. And the 3 Fighting O'Shea brothers each won the National Golden Gloves. Then there were the Chicago Golden Gloves fighters who went on to become leaders in other fields, like Illinois Attorney General Jim Ryan, the late Judge Abraham Lincoln Moravitz, and former middleweight champion Johnny Hurd, who used boxing to change his life and now spends time coaching others in the fine art of hit but don't get hit.
I came to St. Andrews in 1960 for the Golden Gloves, and I won the Golden Gloves. And in that lapse of time, I had a total of 360 fights, and I lost 20 of them. And then in 1960, I won the Golden Gloves in this building we're in right now.
I've known Johnny for many, many years. Johnny had a problem and was incarcerated for a while. He comes out, he'd been a very, very good amateur boxer around Chicago. He comes out and he decides he wants to become a professional. And he was world rated at one time as a middleweight. Johnny was a marvel, one of the best boxers I've ever seen.
John Lira was a young criminal who got a second chance because of the creativity of a Chicago judge. Lira went from the Golden Gloves to become a champion pro boxer.
I had compiled the long arrest record from the time I was 8 or 9 years old up until the time I was 19, and many judges I stood before had wanted to wash their hands with my life, and they seemed that I was going to be going nowhere, and they were getting ready to lock me up and throw away the key. One judge took a chance.
I asked John, what can you do productively? Why should I give you a break? Why should you go back in society? You're a danger. And what can you do with your life? And he said, I've got these. And I said, what do you mean you got those? And he said, well, I'm a boxer. And we talked about it a little bit. And I said, fine, if you want to channel your aggression that way, I'm going to help you do it. But I'm going to put you on a very tight leash. And if you get in trouble, you're going right to the penitentiary.
I am a true testimony of what boxing can do as far as building character and taking a young man's negative energy and turning it into a positive direction. I should either have been dead in the penitentiary or both, but here I am talking to you.
Back with that left hook, left hook. That's it.
Martin McGarry's boxers are not in the same dire straits as John Lira once was. But they're also hoping that McGarry can show them how to change their lives through boxing.
Work on that uppercut now.
Malachi Farrell dreams of the Olympics.
Right uppercut, left hook.
Shea Mobley hopes for a professional career and dreams of being a champion. Both are looking to McGarry for guidance.
Hit him with so many lefts, he'd be praying for a right.
I teach them the basic fundamentals. They come into the gym, get them in condition, shadow box, punching the heavy bags, speed bags, focus mitts, jumping rope, climbing rope, weights, chin-ups, pull-ups, sparring, and that's get them in condition to spar. Then when they are in good condition sparring, then we put them into competition if they want to do that. Malachi's a tall fighter. He's got a good reach, and his left jab is a good punch, and he's fast and he throws combinations, a lot of combinations, and he's very tough. He's deceivingly tough. He can take a good punch.
I come from a very large family. I have 12 brothers and sisters, and my father has worked his whole life, 2-3 jobs, to make sure all of us have gone through Catholic education all the way through high school. I used to street fight when I was younger, and then when I started boxing, I kind of gave up on that. Didn't seem to have any point to it, where there's always a point.
Malachi, he started boxing at St. Rita. They had a fight night there, and he came home and said he was going to fight in the fight night, which didn't thrill me at all. I figured it was a one-time thing, and then through that, my son-in-law introduced him to Marta McGarry, and he started boxing. And I didn't really think it would go anywhere, and then the next thing I knew, he was in the Golden Gloves, and I was a wreck.
I support his boxing, and the way the rules are now, the referees won't let them get hurt. They stop the fight. Sometimes it's too fast, but that's the main reason they don't want anybody to be hurt, with the headgear and the heavy gloves. And you might get a bloody nose or so, but that's, you know, that's part of growing up.
I can't watch it. I stay home, and the rest of the family goes, and then they have a cell phone, and they call me as soon as it's over.
Boxing, I think, serves two purposes. It definitely puts the fear of God into a fighter, and it also enables him to beat the devil out of somebody in the ring.
If he sees somebody in here, no matter what time of day or night, he always comes out to see if you need his help with anything. Sometimes I have to show up later, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, when he has just gone in to eat his dinner. He'll come right back out and spend an hour with you training.
I wake up like 5 in the morning and I run 2-3 miles a day. Then I go to work, you know, I have to be at work at 8 o'clock. I go to work and work a full 8-hour day. Then after I get off the train from work, I come straight to practice and I work out for 2 hours.
At 23 years old, Mobley has 2 young children to support and a day job in the mailroom of a large corporation. He is determined to use boxing as a means to fortune and fame.
You don't just get into boxing just to get into it because you think you can fight. You get into the sport because it's a sport and people are getting paid for this sport now, and you want to make something happen in this sport. You know, you want to be a part of the sport, you know, which is history.
Despite all of its successes, the Golden Gloves tournaments are still fighting for their existence. At this tournament, 225 boxers have passed a physical and registered to compete before nearly sold-out crowds at St. Andrew's Gymnasium on Chicago's North Side. Still, that is barely 1/3 of the number slugging their hearts out a couple of decades ago.
In the 1950s, in the tournament I was in, there were 600 boxers in 8 weight classes. 2 rings, you fought 2 times a night, 3 nights in a row.
When the Chicago Tribune gave up its sponsorship in 1963, the Golden Gloves lost both money and advertising. The Chicago Park District, under then Superintendent Ed Kelly, helped keep the tournaments going by feeding them a steady stream of boxers from gyms throughout the city. But money continued to be an issue. Today, 2 partners, Jack Cowan and Ted Gimza, own the Golden Gloves franchise. Without a major sponsor, they depend on advertisers, ticket sales, volunteer judges, referees, coaches, and loyal fans to survive.
Without the community support, there would be no Golden Gloves. Our main source of income comes from the fans who buy tickets and our sponsors.
In less than half an hour, the fight that may determine Shea Mobley's future will be over. Either he will win and go on to the National Golden Gloves in Reno, or lose in the final local bout. Either way, he will be at a crossroads in his boxing career.
Some boxers are counterpunchers. They'll wait for the other boxer to make the move and they'll counter. In other words, they'll react to his movement, right? Those are the best boxers. The novice boxers will get out there and just swing for the rafters, trying to knock the other opponent out. A good seasoned open division boxer is going to be setting his opponent up. In other words, hooking to the body, hooking to the head, putting a right hand behind it, all right? You'll see combination punching, all right?
In amateur boxing, the scoring level is from the waist up the sides of the body to like so. It's like a square. It's almost like a strike zone in baseball. And you land scoring blows within that area. Those are the punches that count. A punch that misses obviously doesn't count. A punch that lands on the arms or around on the shoulder in the back, that doesn't count.
The judges who are now in the Golden Glove finals are the A-level judges. Some of them have been judging for 20 years. So if they're paying attention, it should be very clear. They may have scored it a little bit differently. They might, in other words, they may have thought one blow scored and one didn't. But at the end of that round, for the most part, they should all go close to the same fashion, bearing in mind that each judge is seeing the bout from a different angle.
The number one responsibility is safety of the boxer, safety of this tournament. Make sure that no boxer is overmatched, so that I make the matches that way with the weight-wise and everything else. And my responsibility also is that the proper officials are assigned.
It's such a science, and it's the art of hitting without getting hit. It's more closer to what a dancer has to do to choreograph his moves, and the concentration and the focus one has to maintain to be able to achieve this in the competition. And at the same time, you're worrying about getting punched in your face.
The old saying in boxing is everyone's got a plan until they take a shot. You can know what you want to do, you can train for the moment, and until you're up there and you really get tested in a situation, under great stress, it's you and him in a ring against no one else. There's no one to throw the ball to. There's no one to call a timeout to. It's basically your will and skill and heart and patience and perseverance against someone else's.
In the red corner, representing McGarry's Gym, how about it for Shane Oakley? And across the red corner, representing the Windy City Gym, give it up for Marcello Michaud.
Definitely Mobley has the advantage here. But to Marcello's credit, he's just trying to walk him down, get him in his zone right now.
Stay with the body, back to the body. Don't wait, don't wait.
If you look at Marcello, he is a tank. He just wants to walk you down and come forward.
Straight, Shay, straight, keep him straight. Okay, no more holding now. You gotta throw some clean punches, Shay. Clean shots, all right? Come on, sugar up, big deep breath. Come on. Come on, this guy's getting tired now, okay? Do you hear me? He's getting tired. Okay? Throw them in fours, all right? Come on, buddy, come on. That's it. Let's go. Let's go, Shay. Body shot up top. Thanks, man.
He's having a hard time keeping him off him. That's really exhausting when you've got a guy who's fighting you at that close range and you're not able to slow him down or get him to respect your power. And Shea doesn't have a whole lot of power in those hooking punches, even though they are scoring.
Stick and move, stick and move. Move! Get on your toes, Shane. Move, move. 1, 2, 3. Up, dog, up, dog, up, dog. Okay, no more holding. It's the last round. You got 2 minutes. You want to go to Reno? Do you want to go to Reno? Okay, well, let's put it on him this round. Come on, he's tired, Shay. You're hurt. You got him hurt.
Both of them trying to finish strong, trying to pull out the round right now.
10 seconds, Shay. Let's go. Let's go.
Looked like he put on a great effort. Marcello was pretty strong. He kept coming forward. Now his fate is in other people's hands.
Gotta knock him out to win this, you know that.
Your winner in a very close decision, on points, and the 2001 Chicago Golden Gloves 175-pound open division champion in the blue corner from Windy City,
If you train correctly and you prepare thoroughly and you leave everything that you have in that ring for those 3 minutes and that bell rings at the end, you've won the fight no matter how the decision goes, because you've given it your best, you've prepared to the utmost. You're going to win some that you shouldn't have. You're going to lose some that you never should have. The whole mark of it is what you do from the shot. Do you get up from it and go on? What do you do to overcome that to become a champion? And that's what this is really all about. And it's very tough. It's very tough when you see these fighters. You see how hard they train and you see what work they put into it. And to call one guy a winner and he gets the spoils and the other guy a loser in amateur, it's very tough to take sometimes. These guys put more into some of their amateur bouts for a t-shirt and a trophy than Mike Tyson does for $20 million.
I thought Shea won the fight. Yeah, I know he won the fight. I was sitting right at ringside. He outscored his opponent 3 or 4 to 1 in every round. Not taking anything away from Marcello. Marcello was game, and I think maybe that's what the judges were looking at. Somebody that was game, but they weren't looking at the punches being scored. Take the fight away from the judges. Either beat your guy one-sidedly or knock him out, one or the other. That's how you do it. Shea, unfortunately, he could have. He threw a 3-4 punch combination, and then he was stopped. He could have stopped Marcello. He hurt him a few times, but he didn't follow through.
And now it's Malachi Farrell's turn to take his fate into his own gloved hands.
In the red corner, representing Brooks Park, let's have a big St. Andrews welcome for Michael Smazenka. His opponent across the ring in the blue corner, representing McGarry's Boxing Club. Let's have a big hand for Malachi Farrell.
Right now. Come on, stay in long range. That's it. There you go. That's it. Keep moving now. Get out of the rope. He's slipping right into your right hand. You're not throwing that right hand. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Throw them together in bunches. All right. Let's go. Right hand. Right away.
Malachi's working his best, and he's got him at distance.
Get out of there, Mal. Stay long range, Mal. Keep him long range. Come on the end of that jab.
And Malachi on the outside, when he's dodging those punches and he's catching them outside, definitely his clear advantage there.
Come on, let her go. Throw that right hand with some authority this round, okay? Dig it in there, you hear me? Don't be throwing it out lazy. Come on, no more lazy punches. Let's go, buddy, let's go. Come on, this is it. Reno, here we come. 4, 4, 4. Come on, let's go, man, come on. Get out of there, get back, step back.
And again, his coach's advice to stay away at distance, boy, that's where his whole advantage is.
Stay with long range. Double up, back on him, Mal, back on him. Forward, Mal, forward. Don't wait, Mal. Back on him, Mal, back on him. Oh, yeah. There's no way you should be letting this guy do that.
And you see the holding that's going on there. John's already taken a point away.
Good job, Mal.
Malachi definitely outboxed him in this fight. This should have been pretty clear on judges' scorecards.
Did I tell you to keep him long range? Yeah. Did you understand English? What? You won this, kid. You won this.
Your winner and the 2001 Chicago Golden Gloves heavyweight open division champion on points in the blue corner, Malachi Farrell.
God, you did so good.
Hey, Ma. It's grand. Yeah, I won.
Hey, Ma.
I can't see out of my left eye though. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, I'm fine. I'm just kidding.
We love you, Mom.
Marty says he loves you. Oh, she loves you too.
Oh, you did well. You did well, Mel.
What I say?
It's here, and it's here. You know, I could also say somewhere else, but that has a lot to do with here. There's nothing like amateur boxing. A person can go to a pro fight, and out of 6 pro fights, you might see 1 good fight. You can go to an amateur show, and out of 6 fights, you'll see 6 good fights.
And so the Golden Gloves battles on each year. Despite its money troubles and the generally questionable reputation of the sport itself, there are enough fighters and fans, promoters and trainers, and others with a passion for the sport to keep the tournaments going. For Chicago Stories, I'm John Calloway. Thank you and good night.